Hello, everyone. Welcome to Love Amplified. I am your host, Gayla Lawrence, author of Love Amplified How Caregiving Reveals the Heart's True Capacity. Today, this message is for caregivers that are going through loss. For those of you who are caregivers and the recipient of your caregiving duties has passed away, first, I want to give you my condolences. I'm very sorry for your loss. You're probably in a place where you're wondering, now what? Now what do I do? I was in that same place. When my mother passed away, I had to transition from a caregiver to a grieving individual. I was on automatic. I would drive from work and go straight to the nursing home. I would get midpoint and realize I no longer had to do that. So I had to get used to a different way of living at that point. And so you go through that process, and you're going to be in that process right now. First, I want to encourage you, those caregivers that are going through loss, I want to encourage you to acknowledge your feelings, acknowledge the emotions, acknowledge the sadness, the anger, the disappointment, possibly guilt, and even relief. All of those feelings and emotions are valid, they're personal, and you have a right to feel all of the emotions. Grief is very personal. In fact, I want to encourage you not to let anyone tell you that you are grieving too little because the person just passed, or you're grieving too much because it's been a couple of years. No, grief is very personal. I have someone very close to me that when their mother died on the day of the funeral, they did cry. But it wasn't until a year later, when we went to the graveside, they let out this deep, guttural, mournful cry as if we just buried their mother that same day. Grief is very personal. It looks different from individual to individual. I want to encourage you that are going through this right now to allow yourself to feel all of the emotions. Allow yourself to go through the process of grieving. Don't hold it in. And maybe in the beginning, you might want to hold it in because it might be difficult for you to feel the emotions, but please, you allow yourself to feel all of the emotions. If you need help doing it, reach out to a grief counseling group, reach out to a close friend, but you must go through that process. Otherwise, you might find yourself in a loop where you are in the same place and you're not moving forward and you're not progressing and you're not releasing. You have to allow yourself to stop the cycle and go through the process. Allow yourself to feel all of the emotions so you can find a healthful way of processing through grief. I want to encourage you to take care of yourself, to exercise, to eat well, to go for walks, sit out in nature. Enjoy things that give you some kind of peace, and take time out for solitude. Take time out for yourself. Just be alone with yourself. Take time to pray, to meditate, listen to music. Just be still. I want to encourage you to also, be in the company of your friends, but solitude's important as well. Allow yourself that time to pull away and get quiet. I want to encourage you also to honor the relationship. Do something that you know that they enjoyed. If they enjoyed dancing or listening to music or funny movies. I know for myself, there's an old movie that my mother really loved. She was watching this movie when we were in her belly, actually. She was 8 months pregnant at this time. And it was years old, but she was watching it on television, eating ice cream. And she was cracking up watching this movie. So when we were 12 or 13 years later, this movie came out in the early 60s. She had us watching it. And year after year, we'd watch this movie. It was hilarious. It's an old movie from the 60s called It's a Mad, Mad, Mad World. It's a silly, funny movie. But anyway, that was something my mother enjoyed. So when I see it come on TV or I hear about it, I laugh because mommy was so tickled by this movie. So I encourage you to honor the relationship you had with the person that passed away, that you do something that they enjoyed that is helpful for you. Whatever you need to do to help yourself go through the process. Yeah, that's important. Allow yourself to feel all of the feelings and go through it in a helpful way. If anyone who is watching this video has some more tips for those who are going through the grief, please leave it in the comments section. If you have questions, leave it in the comments section. I'd love to hear from you. Again, my condolences for those of you who are grieving, and my love to all of you who are watching. Thank you so much for allowing me to go through this caregiving journey with you. Until next time, amplify love.